It's not like there's a big gap between the hobbies and the competitor these days. Like knowledge has evolved so much that everyone can be good at jiu-jitsu these days because of the computer, because of COVID. Actually, COVID accelerated it. If you think about it, because all the people that weren't used to watch videos and stuff, and all the people that already did this have more time to do it, and all the people were filming and putting content online. Man, like jiu-jitsu at this point is not a secret.
Hello, friends. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Mayn Idea Podcast, where today I have the pleasure of sitting down with Johnny Tama. If you want to see this show grow in 2024 and hear from more incredible guests, please take 30 seconds and leave a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. It's so easy to do, and it helps the show tremendously with one of my most important factors, organic growth. I want this show to grow because people that listen to it share it with other like-minded individuals, not because it's been pumped full of ad revenue. So take 30 seconds, leave a 5-star review on Spotify, and help the show out. I appreciate it so much. Johnny Tama is a jiu-jitsu black belt from Ecuador under Juan Miguel Iturralde. He was the first Hispanic athlete to win an IBJJF World title in the black belt division, which he did in 2019. I hope that you enjoy this episode as much as I did. Without further ado, Johnny Tama. Well, Johnny, it's such a pleasure to have you here, man. I've had the pleasure of training with you. It was awesome. You have a great intensity. You're a decorated competitor and a serious practitioner of this sport. So it means the world that you came on here with me, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. I've been watching what you're doing. It's pretty fun. You invite a lot of great fighters to your podcast, and it's cool. I was excited when I got invited. It's always good to share your story with people.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I'd love to start. I want you to take me back to the year 2009 with this street altercation, and tell me a little bit about what that experience did to you and how it pushed you in the direction of martial arts and jiu-jitsu and started you on this incredible journey to where now you're a global world-class competitor.
Man, well, I was young, and we got in a fight in the streets, and for some reason, things were ending on the floor.
Mhm.
Like the scrap we ended up on the floor, and the classic headlock position, and you start to wonder like how much you actually understand the thing. At that point I also had no fighting experience, so everyone in the town in the third world, they're wild, they're not very like, they're ready to scrap right away. People are very like that. I feel like here in America they're a little bit more restrained to an
Mhm.
extension. But yeah, I was like 15, 16 when this happened, and I was just, man, I don't know how to defend myself, and that just got my attention. Also, growing up in Ecuador, very insecure, like unsafe. So
Mhm.
I don't know. Not knowing how to protect myself was what brought me into learning how to strike. Because I asked my stepdad that I wanted to, like, he's a Kempo karate black belt. He's done some jiu-jitsu. So he was like, yeah, let's do some striking at home. I'll get a sandbag, and we start hitting it. I'll show you how to like walk, and how to throw punches and this and there. So yeah, that was the early beginning of like, then eventually led into doing jiu-jitsu full time and making my lifestyle.
What was it like when you're like as a kid in that situation? Were you freaked out? Like, was it scary?
Understanding that I didn't know how to like do anything on the floor, and
Yeah.
also getting punched is like, one thing is talking about it, because everyone talks about it. Oh yeah, I'm tough, I can fight. Or everyone when it's a kid, like, wants to act like bully, or they want to be the protector of the person being bullied. So
Right,
then the
right.
fights happen, right? And I feel like I just never had a situation where like I was humble,
Mhm.
like that, and that kind of changed my perspective of things.
What so now professional elite grappler Johnny Tama, looking back on that, what would have been your escape? Like, how would have you gotten out of that situation? Knowing the position you were in, what was going on, how many people were around you?
Oh, not no fighting. I think I would say right now today. I said
Yeah.
no fighting, man. There's no reason to expose yourself to be in the situations. But definitely, I would just put a hook and take the dude's back and choke him. Like, that's it. I would put a hook, move him to the left a little bit, rear naked choke, pull him out, stand up, hands up,
Yeah.
But I mean, those were wild times too, 15, 16 in the neighborhood, fighting with your friends. But, you know,
Well,
it was,
you don't know anything yet. You're just you're a kid, and I mean, look, growing up, like when you're a boy around your buddies when you're a kid, there's always that, like, you're kind of messing with each other all the time. Everyone's fighting a little bit, but that's a
yeah.
different thing. Like when it happens in the street, and these are not your buddies, right? Like these are
Mm-mm.
people that you don't know. There's fear associated with that. There's more risk because you have no idea what they're doing. That's got to be a much more transformative experience than just like wrestling with your friends at your buddy's house, you know?
I feel like people should get into fights so they understand the consequences of actions when they grow up as a kid, like I feel like it molded me as a person, understanding, like I still man, I think getting to jiu-jitsu it hasn't solved the problem, but like I was very aggressive, very like hyper, so that would lead to confrontations or fights with people.
Mhm.
um I like to challenge people's point of view too, so that leads to a lot of like
Yeah.
uh, uh, non-agreement things. But I feel like people should be exposed to fighting. Or okay, let's not make them fight in the streets. Let's make them do jujitsu. So like from an early age, I feel like everyone should be on the mats or for a little bit, for a short time a period of time, so you can learn that there's consequences. That you can actually that'll make you respect more life and situations, take better
Well,
decisions.
jujitsu is so good at that too, because every time I mean, I can say this at my level. I don't know what it's like at your level, but every time you think you're figuring something out, someone kicks your ass. Or like every time it feels like something's going your way, there's like an opportunity to get humbled. And the continual ability to get humbled is super important to have like an even understanding of the world. Because if you just walk around thinking you're a badass all the time, you're destined to like hit this point of rude awakening at some
I feel
point.
like jiu-jitsu is one of like I feel like anything in life, if you are like being philosophical about it, can be a ego checker for you. But
Mhm.
jiu-jitsu is really good at keeping you like, hey, you can actually be choked out and you're never gonna
Yeah.
wake up again. So I feel like just knowing that makes you more humble or like more aware of these things.
Do you still find yourself experiencing that at your level
Of
of
course,
being a decorated black belt? Like what's an experience like when you feel like you get humbled nowadays?
I take it easier on me. I feel like and this is embarrassing, but I'm gonna share it because when you're trying to be the best, you have to tell a story, right? You have to tell a story to yourself of who you are, who you want to be, and then if you believe that story, and then you're not getting the story right or like the results like you want, you do impulsive stuff or like you get mad or you get
Mhm.
angry. So like I used to get super angry at myself, man. Like just think that I'm not like basically valuing myself as a person, comparing it to my results in competition. So it was like not very healthy thing to do. I feel like now these days I'm more it's okay, try it again, it's just a tournament, doesn't matter. Of course I hate being highlighted, so like I'll find my hardest to never be highlighted. Fuck that shit.
Yeah,
If anything, I'm gonna highlight people.
right.
So um yeah, man, I feel like that's just the mind. As you grow older, you start things don't hit as hard, or things have been stuff have been happening more often, so you see them, so you don't get as a surprise, or it's not as new. You know how to handle with emotion. But definitely, I hate losing, man. I feel like every champion or every person who's trying to compete at a high level in any kind of sport, they need to have that mindset, like. But
Yeah.
there's where there has to be a right balance, and like for example, like people in my generation now, they're like hitting their 30s, so now they're jumping into like being a black belt high levels at masters too, or like they still fight adults, but I see some like slowing down, some others keeping the same intensity, but then I also see that as a training, but then I see the mentalities, and some people stay the same, and some other like change and evolve into other kind of things. So that's been fun and interesting to watch in my in the people that I know that I competed or that I have friendship that are black belts, that they've been training for a long time. There's a thing I noticed.
Well,
Um,
you have like a very you have an aggressive pursuant style. Like you don't give your opponents much space and you're constantly attacking, which to some degree you could say that about anyone at a high level, right? Everyone's good, everyone has a gas tank and they're tenacious. But if you watch your rounds, your aggressiveness doesn't taper. Like you don't lose your aggressiveness as the round goes on, right? You maintain
I
and
think
I've seen it
I keep a good steady balance.
yes,
As some other people who start really really hard, and then in the middle of the match you see this peak down.
right. And
I
you're
feel
more
like
even.
I try to keep it more even because I feel like there's less room for mistakes and to get tired. Because sometimes you have to remember you're about to go 5 4 rounds of 10 minutes if it is in IBJJF. It's ADCC
Right.
6 minutes, but like still you gotta like taper your energy. Like if you're like throwing all these bleeds, can you are you gonna be able to keep up for the next rounds? And that's why, for example, when I make it to quarters of semis, I know I'm winning the tournament because like that's when like when people already threw all their 100% on the other matches, I kept a steady pace so I can keep going through my bracket, right? And even though this mentality worked well when I was doing crazy weight cuts, man, for IBJJF, I was like, that's something I don't practice much these days. That's why I've been fighting more middleweight. But according to
Yeah.
lightweight and nogi and IBJJF, it's very rough, man. It's like 162.5, and
It's
I walk
horrible.
around 175,
Yeah.
173, and so it's 10 pounds. So it's like one day you have to fight 4 matches to win gold, and the first match was the night before losing 10. So
Right.
and then you go for those. So like that technique that I'm telling you helped me with this kind of cuts, but I don't want that now. So I changed that thing about me. But
how
definitely, I
how
try to keep that
important
same movement the whole round.
how important is it to you like training at the intensity that you fight? There's if you look through, martial arts, mixed martial arts and grappling, there's a lot of different camps on like how intense people should train, how intense they should spar. Obviously, striking is going to be a little bit different than grappling, but from me watching you train in person with Sinistro, for example, you guys train like you're both trying like it's kind of beautiful to watch. You guys both train with each other like you are trying to win a belt that the other person's holding over your head. Like it's on the whole time. Is that an output that you try to maintain constantly? Like whenever you're visiting a school, if you're doing a seminar, if you're training with people that
It
you trust
depends.
and
It
know.
depends. It depends. It depends because like this is not something that I want to do with everybody. It's a good thing you mentioned. I mentioned Francisco in this. Sinistro is my training partner for over 10 years now, man,
Yeah.
and he's my professor's brother. So it's like it's family, you know. So we scrap like there's no concerns of what's gonna happen with each other, you know.
Valid
Well,
facts. That's
there's a love, but there's that kind of love and trust that we can like. But then I don't feel like I can give my body to someone else, so I have to be very picky. Or like also, I don't feel like I can go with this intensity with everybody in my studio, for example. Like I cannot
mhm,
go with my student like this because a I can get hurt. B he can get hurt. Both can we get hurt. And so like you gotta choose these rounds. And when you're a visitor, you when I go to another gym, man, I'm not trying to prove a point to anybody. When I get there,
right.
if they know who I am and they fucking wanna come after me, they come, bro. But I don't go there like, oh, I'm gonna go to this gym and hound this motherfucker down. That's not my mindset. I don't wanna go disrespect someone else's space, you know.
Right.
I don't want that. I don't want that to be done to me. But if the guy's my homie, like Orlando Montero, I'm gonna quote this example. Great athlete. He's a fucking badass from Natal, Brazil. Lives in Hawaii. Has a gym. We done training camps together. He's come visit me, and man, he's a visitor. But I know me and him trust each other like Sinistro, so we go blah blah blah. But then it's not a feeling that you can get with everybody. You cannot trust everybody in these kind of things. Um, you gotta be able to judge your intentions too, you know. But like I
So
said,
how
know with everybody, I'll go like this. Is if there's a trust worth relationship to go like this, I'll throw the 100%. If not, like also like I like to roll in a way where like I'm not losing too much, you know. Like I always pop back, even when I'm flow rolling with someone or going live. I'm trying to like practice my main move, where like I don't make mistakes. And if I'm
right.
rolling with someone high level, well, I gotta open up too to get movements, and that's the cost you pay in the high level. Make a mistake, you get your back taken. but it's not with
Totally.
everybody that you can trust. But I've been to some places where like in people are trying to prove a point. So because you're the visitor, and number two, oh, you're the teacher, or you're this well-known competitor, and they want to test themselves with you. And for them, getting a soup on you is like the victory of their life. You know, it's like their world title for them. But like for me, it's like I navigate through these experiences. I have all kinds of things happening to me, man. I've been teaching seminars around the United States for 7 years now, and it's like it's been a very interesting learning journey for myself too, as a coach
Yeah.
and as a person, because I have to read these rooms and understand when it's time. Like there's people that I have the feeling they want, that they know I'm good, but they want me to prove it to them, and they want to feel it. And there's other people that they just know, and they just, there's a respect like that. So whichever is the case, I'm ready to scrap, but I don't want to get in weird positions where people get like, I've gotten people coming to Ecuador that I brought for seminars, black belts, and I was a purple belt. I'm not gonna name drop anyone, but
Yeah.
I'm still cool with this guy. Like we still train, but like the first time this is a purple belt bringing this guy for a seminar to Ecuador, and we're training on a Sunday, and he just fucking, like put the heat of the training room different, and
Yeah.
I feel like now that I've been doing it for 15 years, I want to do it and have fun than pushing myself to prove that I'm the best in the world, and like wake up every morning on that trip, because uh this shit's no longer a sprint for me. It's a marathon. I'm running that fucking marathon, and I gotta like taper and know when it's time to put this room. But like when I'm in a room with Sinistro, or with another friend, Black Belt World Champion, or with a good round that I know he's a good round, someone that I trust, that can
Yeah.
go 100%, that doesn't, I'll go, man. Like, but you always have to have this relationship with people, understanding. That's why I don't really like open mats much, because you never know. Like, there's a guy there trying to prove a point. You
Yeah.
know,
When you
and
look, so like as you've come up as a competitor from Ecuador and then training, living in the United States and winning in 2019, an emotional, awesome victory that everyone should go watch on YouTube. It's super sick. Um, as you've gone through and like you've done more seminars, you've been brought into other people's academy, and you've developed a name for yourself. I can only imagine, like you're talking about, that as you get bigger and bigger, you become more of a target, like you said, for those two reasons. One,
or
you're a
a threat,
visitor,
or
so
a
there's
threat,
always that, yeah,
or a
or a
threat for
threat.
other people, competitors. Yeah, it's really interesting how that works.
But like you said, it's a risk not only to the other person, right? Because you're a seasoned veteran competitor, but it's also a risk to you. Like if you're visiting schools and doing seminars, but you have world championships coming up or ADCC trials, that's the stuff that matters to you the most. So how do you check yourself in that moment and go, I'm gonna train hard like this, but I'm not gonna let these people get to me. Like I'm not dealing with this bullshit. This person trying to make a name off me. This person trying to, like you said, have the best day of their life because they got a sub on me when I'm only training 50% because I'm gonna compete in 2
It not
days.
only happens with
Like,
me. I seen it happen this attitude with other kind of black belts. Like it's just very
yeah.
common mindset of people that are doing fighting sports.
So do you have to just be more so like, and I don't mean you like you. I mean people in your position, black belts, people that are really seasoned. Do you then have to just be selective about, like if you're in a seminar, do you have to just be really,
I feel like anyone, regardless of their rank, should be able to say no to a round.
I like that?
I mean, do I want that attitude on my mat? Not really. If a higher belt is inviting me to roll, it's a good sign. I feel like they consider you, even if you're like a white belt or a blue belt, and let's say a black belt comes and you don't want to roll with him. I mean, personally, as a martial artist, but that's just me. I cannot project that on them. I would take the opportunity, because it's gonna be a different round. Now, again, you never know when someone's trying to prove a point on you too. This also can happen with black belts too, because the fact that you have a black belt doesn't mean that you're a good person, or doesn't mean that you fucking
Right.
know how to behave. Like I even as a black belt, I make mistakes. So like that doesn't mean I'm a good person. It just means I have experience on a martial art. Um, but yeah, you gotta be able to decide when it's time. And another thing, sometimes, you know what, let them smash you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't get hurt.
How does
It's-
your how does your ego deal with that? Like
I
How,
hate losing, bro. I used to get so
yeah.
upset for hours, for hours, for hours, for hours. I'll go home and I'll be upset and I'll talk about it before going to sleep. And this sounds funny, man, but this is something I used to do. Like I used to get so frustrated, so worked out about it. Like I'll be thinking, like I don't forget when someone taught me. Like I remember, and I've tell people like, oh yeah, you beat me like this and like that, and I'll even drop the year and the month,
Right.
and they'll be
Right.
like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, bro, because you don't forget. It was someone time. I personally I don't because I hate it because I did something wrong,
Right.
and yeah, so
But
but
every opportunity is an opportunity to learn too, and look at things and go, "Hey, that happened for a reason, right? It didn't. It happened because either a mistake or they did something, and you can adjust your game. I mean, that's how we get better, right? Is by you lose and then you make yourself better from that loss, whether it's a loss on a podium or a loss on a mat in any capacity. That's how you become a better martial artist, better person to some degree, I think.
this is not a mindset that everyone has.
Yeah.
This is not something that people like to embrace as. Um, I feel like it should be something like part of the culture or the mindset in the culture, like understanding this philosophy of like you win or you learn. Uh, but hey, it takes some growing to do to start understanding this. And hey, there's some people that just magically are really good and win everything. So you know,
Right.
and so like we just we just enjoy the journey, man. That's what I'm trying to
What
do at this point. Enjoy it because I was getting too upset about like things, man. Like I wasn't enjoying competing. I felt pressure on things. Like it's not even anyone's demanding from you. It's just yourself. Like you expect like so. I'm gonna tell you a quick recap about what happened after I won Worlds. I went
yeah.
8 matches or 8 or 7 matches in a row losing. That was a losing streak, the worst in my career, the worst in like ever competing since white. But like I've never lost 7 matches, and it happened as a black belt. But that shit,
After
that
your after the
after
2019 victory. Damn. How did
because
that
I
feel?
win December 2019. 2 months later, I do a BJ Fanatics bracket in February. March, the work shuts down, and then they reopen partially in some states like Texas, so they start running shows. So I took the first super fight event there was after COVID. I mean, while COVID, that was Fight to Win, and and then I win this one. So I was like, oh yeah, we're still rocking, we're still good, rock flying, and then things started to get more. Tournaments started happening more in Texas. That's why Texas took over right now in Jiu Jitsu because all the
Yeah.
big tournaments, and all the big gyms affiliated affiliation gyms moved there, and and now you see like all this big growth in Texas. But yeah, 2020, like I was doing those tournaments, I was losing, man. All these new promotions pull out, they'll call me, and now and it's not like I was getting like wrecked, but I was losing a ref decision. I'll take a crazy matchup with Pedro Marino, like
Yeah.
that will go black belt world champion, ADCC veteran, like
Right.
uh, I'll fight John Alves, one of the AOJ standouts, and I got some crazy scraps with the dude, like he beats me 2-0, advantage, and stuff like that. And it's like, it started to get to my head because I was like, I was supposed to be winning all of these fights instead of losing because I'm a world champion or because I'm on this
Right.
level and I need to prove a point. Um, but at the same time, just, I don't know. It's just, I feel like that was a point in my life where like it was one of the biggest tests in my career. I feel like are you gonna that's what make me change the things I've been telling you earlier on our
So
chat.
it was an important part in your mental
This
development as an
this this
athlete.
this this
Yeah.
this 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 and it was awful, brother. Because I'm telling you, I was thinking, oh, I'm not good for this shit. I just got lucky. I started thinking about, some people will say Johnny Tama got blessed by the grappling gods and stuff. Uh, but at the end of the day, I felt like it was just me talking myself down after so many defeats. And then I went on to work with this mindset coach, and I learned some principles that the wrestling mindset follows. And we start talking, of course, developing strategies to address my thoughts and the way I was feeling towards things, and that helped me. that walked me into more acceptance
I
as
love that. Yeah.
than I used to have for things that didn't go my way. You know, I had zero acceptance. I would get mad, get frustrated, depressed, la la la. So it was hard. It took some time, and then I came back to winning towards the end of the year. I had a couple of big wins against good athletes, and but you know, like if I didn't go through that, I probably wouldn't have changed the way I perceive losing or like failure.
Isn't it crazy how powerful like consciously working on your mindset as an athlete can be? It's like a dude, that's a superpower in and of itself. I remember I was talking to Jasmine Rocha about her. She works with a mental coach as well all the time.
Hmm.
And when I was an athlete skiing growing up competitively, I worked with like a sports psychologist to
Yes.
basically help me like because dude, you're a
I
teenager,
work with a
like
couple. I work with a couple. I actually currently am not, but I shoot back. Actually, now we having this chat. I shoot back. I get back to that.
what did they so when you started working with like a professional about this kind of stuff, going through that time, you got this big win and then these losses, and you're thinking about yourself as an athlete and like, am I right for this? Am I doing the right things? Then you get with this coach. What's something that they helped you like? How did they help you look at things differently?
Well, I like this thing that he said that thoughts are like cars parking in spots in your head.
Mm,
So that comparison was really good to me. And I was like,
yeah,
okay. And then you have certain amount of thoughts where like you see them they're parked the right way, the correct way, in between the lines, and for then you have this weird talk that's like wrongly parked. You know, like it's over the line, almost too close to the next car. So that's a bad thought. That
mm,
would be having poor self-esteem, talking or self-talk poorly about yourself, and then he'll be like, "This is a car you have to repark." And I was like, "What you mean?" And I was like, then he give me an example of a thought, and then rewarded that same thought into something positive. So it
I
was
like
something,
that.
for example, the most simple one that I change my, and I repeat this like a broken record to people, and it helped me. And sometimes I get good at it. Sometimes we still do well on things we have to do because it's part of it. But like when you complain, I say like, "Oh, I have to go to work." Sounds like
Like,
I have to is an obligation,
yeah, yeah,
but you can see it as like something annoying that you have to do or something that helps you go through your life and paying your bills and keeping you afloat, right? So
like you
like he
get
was
to
like,
go to
I
work.
get to go to work. So this
Yeah,
this this simple thing just changed the whole. Now of course I still get in bad moments in my life, you know, where I this even these thoughts processes helpers don't match me or don't help me, and you have to get therapy, you know, not only with a mindset coach first or like a sport coach or like with a psychologist, and talk about these things. So that like after I did the mindset thing, that opened me up to try therapy, so like for
yeah.
life. So that kind of helped me a lot, man. Like something I like to encourage to people these days. But I mean,
It's
it's like,
powerful to look inside. Like, it's easy to get caught up in negative thoughts, and I love this example about the cars. I've heard a similar one about like cars on a freeway. Like if you're watching cars on a
mhm.
freeway and you look down and you're just focusing on one car, that's like a bad or negative thought. But then when you zoom out, there's millions of cars on the freeway, right? And they're all just pop 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 going back and forth.
Yeah,
It's really
you're the
easy to
one
get
that
zoned
choose
in
what
on
to
them.
give it power. You decide what feelings to give it power,
Totally.
and it's still hard. I'm not gonna tell you, yeah, oh, I'm so good at this. I'm a guru at mindset. No bullshit.
Right.
Like, but these are things that I know that help, and if I can catch them on time, it's really good. But like I said, I also don't like to compete when I don't feel like I'm ready anymore. Sometimes I feel like I was just jumping to compete, and that put a
Like
lot of
just to
pressure on
keep
me.
up the frequency.
And it's important if you ask me. If someone is trying to be a world champion, they need to be in the flow. There's a momentum going on the tournaments, and the moment that you hop down that flow and you take too long to come back, it's hard. You're gonna feel like a little, you know, because everyone
Yeah.
else has been going with the flow for a while, so you got stuck. That's why I always like to be active, 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 active. But I don't know. I think the other day I counted like 175 matches as a black belt.
Jeez, that's a
Yeah,
lot, man. It's
I couldn't even
how
believe
does
it.
your body feel, dude? How does your
Oh, I'm
body feel?
wrecked. I'm fucking
Yeah.
wrecked, bro. I'm fucking wrecked. I got
Walk me through like head to toe. Go head to toe.
no.
How's
We got
Johnny's body feel?
man. I got like every joint you can think of is something happened, and one is worse and one is a little bit better. So like I haven't had a PCL and ACL for like fucking 6 years, 7 years. On my left knee. Mm, what else? Lower back,
He-
budget
neck.
disc, neck. Neck problems not too bad. Neck's okay. I always strengthen it, but I did have a couple accidents that fucked my vertebrae on the back. Then I got shoulder things. I was rolling one time with this big guy, Felipe Andrew. Man, he did this counter move. I posted on my hand, posted my elbow, and then my shoulder went and
Ugh,
AC joint. So I don't know, man. When I sleep, I have to sleep in certain way that I can adjust my body so I can like pass out. Cause like I'm too
I
broken,
did.
man.
That's one thing that hit me a lot after starting jujitsu, and then now having. I mean, dude, I haven't stopped a single week in like 5 years, and my you just feel your body, dude.
Just
Like
Monday, I almost broke my finger.
really,
Sorry, just yesterday, man. Training
it's
nogi.
not, dude. It's hilarious that it's called the gentle art because it's not, dude. It's
It's never been.
gentle is the furthest word from it. Like it's so much flexion at your hips and your low back and your neck, and then your head is this really useful piece of like an appendage. Like you can drive your head into someone's chest or apply pressure with the side of your head, so your neck just gets so much like work. And
Oh yeah,
now whenever I talk to someone like yourself, someone who's been doing this a long time, everyone's broken. Everyone, dude.
That's what you know. This guy Sergio Moraes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made it to UFC. He was a black
Yep.
belt world champion. Uh, he closed out with Marcelo Garcia. I can't remember what year, 2009, 2010.
Yep.
Um, he was just really fucking good at jiu-jitsu, man. He was a capoeira dude too, middleweight guy. Anyways, he went to to Ecuador to teach a seminar, and one of the questions that I make, I was like, man, like I'm always sore. I'm always in pain. This is normal. Like, it's like, are you ever in pain? Because you seem happy and to be jumping around. And I think at that time, Sergio Moraes probably was 25, 28. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I can figure it out. But fuck, he told me, hey Johnny, like every high level athlete, world champion is always hurt, and
Yeah.
they just
It's
always
true.
find a way to work around it. So that advice impact my life so much in jiu-jitsu, like man, like that. And that's why I feel like I became really good at jiu-jitsu, because I always getting hurt, always finding a new way to do or to stay
Yeah.
rolling. And I don't know, I remember one time I broke my elbow and I just stuck it into my belt, and I was like, we're gonna train with one hand. I got the world championships in 3 weeks.
I love it.
And
You do have to at in any sport. This is true. It's especially true for jujitsu, but it's definitely true for other sports. If you're invested in getting better at it and you're not willing to adjust around injury and find a way, you won't do it.
you know,
Like
and
you
I
have to be invested.
I feel like that's the point, and then there's always small nagging pains and injuries that you have to just live
Yeah.
with. Once you're warm, you keep going, but
Yep.
a lot of people don't like to deal with that, and that's why
I
I also
kind of,
like
dude. I kind of
I was.
feel like I like I like it a little bit. Like I like to feel a little sore. Kind of reminds me like I'm doing something, you know?
That's something I like about COVID, man. I was waking up and nothing was hurting. It was so crazy, man. It was so crazy. I was like, nothing hurts. Wow.
What do you do for like? Do you do anything for recovery? Because
All
again,
kinds of different stuff.
you
All
train
kinds of
hard.
different stuff.
So
All kinds of
what are you
different
doing
stuff.
on the days in between?
Well, I have a massage gun. I have a heating pad. I go to yoga sometimes, not too often, but sometimes I'll take it. I do mobility work. Not big on stretching as stretch itself, but like I said, mobility could be the
But
closest. Because
you're pretty flexible anyway,
oh
right,
yeah,
dude?
you know what? I developed it. Francisco's brother, my professor Juan Miguel, he had this
Mhm.
flow stretching thing that he'll make us do every day, pretty much. And believe it or not, that helped. That man, I can
Oh shit! Damn.
like easy, and I'm cold
Wow.
right now. I can look a triangle on
I
me.
wonder if I could do that.
but
I thought if I can get my head stuck behind my a foot stuck behind my head and have to call it a
man,
move.
that helps a lot for jiu-jitsu. You know, this mobility. Like the Miyao brothers are really good at this move. That's why they were like so good with their guards.
Well,
Uh,
you can invert and stay so aggressive from that position too because you're comfortable
yeah,
like
it's a
contorting
lot
your
of
body.
understanding. It's a lot of understanding on how to drive uh, shoulder temples on the mat, like how to create
Yeah.
this structure, this triangle structure between
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
temple and your shoulder. You make an structure, man. If you learn how to fuck with that shit, you can invert. You can invert really good.
That's one thing when so when you and I trained, every time you train with someone who's way better than you, yeah, it's there's a feeling like when they get grips or when if you're nogi when they get on you, everything feels tight. It's like you feel like their whole body attached to you, not just their hand, and you keep this proximity that's like really really aggressive, and it's annoying as a
In
competitor.
nogi,
Or yeah, yeah,
Nogi,
like
yeah,
you're
that the round that we
super
have,
close.
yeah. I tried,
Totally.
and for example, Sinistro is the opposite. Instead, he likes to keep you away,
Right.
and then he jumps into you. I like to break the distance between because I feel comfortable in the
But it's
in.
as an opponent, it's frustrating because you can't create distance, right? Like once you get a leg or a knee or a calf or an arm, I'm not getting away from you.
I
It's
try.
like
Well, I mean, people are getting good these days, man. This is something that like everyone is really good at jiu-jitsu. It's not like there's a big gap between the hobbies and the competitor these days. Like knowledge has evolved so much that everyone can be good at jiu-jitsu these days. So like
why do
a
you
lot
think
of
that's happening?
why? Oh, easy, automatic because of the computer, because of COVID. Actually, COVID accelerated it. If you think about it, because all the people that weren't like used to watch videos and stuff, and all the people that already did this have more time to do it, and all the people were filming and putting content online, man. Like to this point, it's not a secret. If you're trying to keep it a secret, oh, I found this mysterious technique, someone already did it, someone
Right.
already know it. And the thing is, like, how much are you willing to be committed to the study of it is the thing.
Do you spend time watching video and like
Of
trying to
course,
create and come up with new pathways or new connections or new things to add to your game?
definitely. I follow certain athletes for these kind of things, and and it's always good to like look at other artists and use their work as an inspiration to find your own
Yes.
ways and your own techniques. But yeah, man, I have to. If you stop looking at jiu-jitsu, you just, like I say, it's like the same as the flow as competing. If you hop down that flow for too long, you just evolving so much and changing so much, and new trends are coming. Like everyone knows about the Choi bar now. And Choi bar a few years ago, no one was talking about the Choi bar, man. Example, and now it's very common to see someone knowing how to defend a burn bolo. It's pretty much basic now. You see white
Right.
belts and blue belts doing it in a tournament. It's just like,
It's
yo,
crazy.
what the fuck? Like,
You have a you're very skilled at attacking the ankle and the feet. When did you start to add that to your game? When did that come about?
a single leg X guard was
That
the
was the start.
start, yeah, or the ashigarami, how they call it in America. Uh, Man, I was just also getting frustrated. I was trying to stop people out with triangles and armbars and kimuras, and I was just people are getting better, man. People, when you train hard, they also know your game. They know what your one, two, three, fours,
Yeah.
and then it gets to a point where like one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, and they're still learning as the longer you train with them. So then you're like, okay, what can disrupt the whole flow thing? So the single leg X guard, spider guard were like my beginnings on this because I was like, I need to finish matches, so I don't spend time competing. Like I
Right.
used to think like if I can leave the place, let's say I have set four matches. If I can leave the place fighting a total of 7 minutes, And
That's
dude,
not
I've
normal.
done
Yeah.
that. I've done that. It's fucking sick. Those are the days you're
Yeah.
like, yeah. But I trained for that, right? So like part of the evolution was finding ways to end fights quick as possible, man. And man, I don't know how many. So I try to find a style where I could like do submissions in 10 seconds, 15 seconds. It's hard. Like the better the people they are, the less chances to have these submissions happening. Or sometimes the surprise factor will come along,
Right.
play in your favor, but the chances are very low in the high level. So, like I said, I was just trying to get quick submissions.
Is that something that, like, the heel hooks and the ankle locks, is that
It's
Juan
quick,
Miguel
man.
Iturralde, or
No, 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 no,
who
no, no.
started
The
to teach you that?
the foot locks. I think everyone knows a little bit of foot lock, but you start sharpening up details. I don't really in Ecuador. I don't know. Juan Miguel wasn't a foot lock guy, for example. Neither was Leo. They were all lapel guys or guard players. So I don't know. I think I found my own way to foot locks on my process of like I'm telling you this. I want to finish fights. The thing is that people see foot locks and still back on the day like
Yeah.
something
But you know what?
dirty.
Here's the thing about it. Like, so you and I were training that one day, right? You got me in I think it was a straight ankle lock or a heel hook. And to be fair, this was my error in I tried to spin out of it the wrong way. You just held it looking at me, kind of like basically telling me, I got this thing. What are you going to do about it? And I went the wrong way. And so the ankle popped. And I thought about it after that. And I was like, you know what, dude? As much of a bad rep as jujitsu gets for being like not useful in a real situation, dude, if you're on your back and someone's standing above you and they want to punch you or
You
knife you or
oh,
whatever,
any given day you give him a foot lock from the bottom. Oof, oof,
right?
and
The
you
the
break
feet
him,
the feet are
and you
there, dude.
break him, you break him, you break him. I mean,
Right.
but no one knows how to do these kind of things. Don't know how to play guard. No one, and also like even like the self defense instruction for like the guard playing is very low. Like I've seen people would teach a throw before teaching how to move their back on the mat. And I feel
Yeah, it
like
just doesn't make sense to
if
me.
you're teaching jiu-jitsu, I feel like you should teach them how to move their back on the mat or on the floor. But not
Totally.
many people do that. But the footlock, like I say, it was more like a thing that just happened because I wanted quick submissions. And then the heel hook, I did not want to do heel hooks until I was a black belt in 2019. So 2017, I got my black belt. 2019, I started doing more nogi, and the heel hook started to become a thing because of ADCC's exposure. It got bigger and bigger.
Hmm.
So that year, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start doing more nogi. And
Yep.
I asked one of my friends, and the guy that actually gave me an opportunity here in San Diego. I was like, "Yo, what's up with the heel hook? I know you know about this, but you never showed me because I always neglect this part of jiu-jitsu."
Yep.
But listening to all the things I hear from people that knew heel hook, they will say like that's the missing link in the leg lock game in the
Yeah.
gi or in no gi too in the IBJJF, because now you see the matches are even more exciting because you don't sit there for 10 minutes to watch a fucking lapel exchange.
I know,
So
dude. It's got to change.
no, but that's because of the fighters. The fighters
Yeah.
that are competing, they want to win like that. They don't want to win like putting in the show, and or the ego. They don't want to get tapped. They don't want to get shamed
Right.
publicly. And I feel that I respect that, but at the same time, it's like you gotta be an exciting fighter to sell tickets, to sell on internet, to sell instructionals. You gotta put a rhythm out there. If not, you're not gonna. That's like easy formula to succeed. Be an exciting fighter, and if people are not competing to win like that, that's why Nogi got so much better because we have this submission, this a KO. Oh, heel, by knee,
Yeah.
and I mean when I learned it was for real like the missing link because I already understood very well how to do a straight ankle lock, how to do a toe hold in the knee bar, left and right. I understood this since I was a brown because we put that was like okay, I know I'm a brown belt now. Time to unlock that. I respected that process on the belts too. Like as a blue belt, I was throwing toe holds because I was put in Nogi advanced division, so I will have to know what was the deal with
Right.
toe. So I was always exposed to learning all these things, toe holds, ankle locks. And things like on training, if I'm training to compete, I will train to do the things I'm allowed to do. But if this weekend we have a tournament that it's advanced division and you're a blue belt competing in that division, then okay, we gotta this week you can go for Tohos.
Right.
That's what I will do. And wow, that just little ad on the game was crazy. But
Yeah.
then now the heel hook just made it, and how much it changed too is interesting, and I like it because it started happening with a lot of subtle entries from reverse X guard, and then it became more false rip kind of entries with K guards, and now it's just a fusion of all these things. And the thing I don't like,
I think that heel hooks and straight ankle locks and toe holds and it should all and knee bars, they should be introduced earlier in my opinion, because what happens is you can have people that go all the way up through blue belt that are never exposed to leg submissions, and then they get excited about jujitsu and they go travel and they show up at another
and then
school that's a
and
leg
someone
drop
caught them
and they
with a
get
move
fucked up.
because they didn't
Yeah,
know what was happening. No,
exactly.
that's something that I try to avoid when teaching. I always try to present that, hey guys, there's this can
Right.
happen from this position. Right now it's not the focus on class. We're doing this position in order to learn uh, a flow that I'm showing, but just so you know, this can happen with your knee. Or,
Right.
example, there's a toe hold too, and just recently because of nogi, because I've been doing more nogi training the last couple of months, I started introducing them more footlocks and also explaining them more like, okay, this can happen, ABC, you can get ripped, tap early. And
Yep.
I always like, it's something that I feel like people don't warn their students enough. Like, hey, like tap early when you don't know what's
Yep.
happening. Just tap early.
And
And
it's dude, there's I mean, when if you're in most of the time, if you're trying to pass guard or something like that, it's 50% of the body. So if you don't attack the legs, if you don't think about attacking the legs, if you don't understand heel hooks and straight ankle locks and knee bars, you're only attacking 50% of your opponent. So there's a lot of positions where you're forcing your way one way when the feet are right there waiting to be attacked. And you
no,
just
it opens the dilemma more. It gives you more dilemma. Oh, leg or pass, or some people
right.
die for footlocks, right? And then they scramble to the back.
Yeah.
It makes it definitely the fight more exciting to watch. But I feel like people should respect the process though. Like take their time to learn other things than jumping into leg locks, because I feel like jiu-jitsu right now is pretty much some wrestling and some leg locks, and
Right.
there's more layers to that. I feel in
When
in
you
the
think
no
about
jiu-jitsu.
jujitsu, having competed in it and you've been doing it for 15, well, 20 years, right?
No,
Longer than
15,
15,
14, 14 and a half.
14 years. What excites you about where it's at right now? And what do you wish would be different?
That's an interesting question. I think is getting where it's supposed to be going. I see a lot of people doing it. More people that I knew when, for example, more people that I knew when I was younger that were very skeptical about doing this martial art, doing it. Is more common and well known around the globe. I feel like more well known people are doing it, like Zuckerberg or Elon Musk. So this is bringing attention to the sport. So I don't know. I feel like it hasn't hit its peak yet,
Right.
but maybe we can talk about in 10 years to like see a possible peak in jiu-jitsu, like the like where it's gonna be like in 10 years. But super fights are paying. There's a lot of opportunity for all kinds of athletes, no matter what color or rank you are. I see
Mhm.
white belts doing super fights, man,
Yeah, I
and
know.
promotions giving them uh fucking screen. And I mean, to each their own, like there's
Yeah.
there's there's enough for everybody is what I'll say now, more than it used to. The other day, one of my homies, he's a purple belt. He got called for go to teach a little workshop for this guy in Palo Verde. I can't remember exactly the name of this place. And me and my homie Sinistro were like, man, remember when we were like brown and black and we wouldn't even get any calls to go the fuck nowhere?
Yeah.
And this purple belt, I mean, no hating on my friend, he's just a purple belt,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and gets called to this thing and still gets paid. Like, wow, man, like how far this come, that it's opportunity for everybody to do it
Yeah.
and make some money, some bread. And of course, it's not like you can make yourself rich out of jiu-jitsu, but I feel like if you work hard enough and you you play smart with your cards, you can be successful in jiu-jitsu. Like have a good gym that provides. So I mean, I feel like anywhere you open a gym, you're gonna have enough at this point.
And what do you think? What do you wish would change in jujitsu currently?
What do I wish it changes? I don't know, man. I feel like the way people are doing jiu-jitsu depends on the person who introduced the new person to jiu-jitsu, like their way of seeing jiu-jitsu, So
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people have their own way of seeing jiu-jitsu at this point, and there's not really the truth of jiu-jitsu. But I feel that a lot gets forgotten, of, like I said, people that came up helping other people, other black belts, other like just I don't know how to explain this part, but
Like respect.
I guess respect, but
Maybe
it's
that's not the
more
right.
like, let me find the right way to say it. Like, it's very casual these days. It's just super casual, and I think one thing that made it nice, at least for me, was like, oh, you get to this place, and you guys, it's like a little structure, like a little military camp, boot camp. You
Yeah.
go, you go there to work out with people. You line up, like it gives a structure, a little bit sense of respect. It help, for example, if you do that for kids, that gives them a lot of like discipline, respect, blah
Yeah.
blah blah. So I feel like a lot of like places have gone lately. Like they just like casually walking to the mat. They just like barely warm up. They just
Yeah.
slap hands and go. All the instructors just like, okay, so this is what we're doing today. There's not too much of like I mean, I'm not saying jiu-jitsu is very martial per se because it was built and founded on fucking blood in the streets of
Right.
Rio. So I cannot tell you, oh, this sport is all about respect. I cannot tell you that, but I feel like something that makes the experience of doing jiu-jitsu better is having this martiality or follow this trend of like, oh, wearing a gi, or like even when you walk to a place, show respect to, like you go to a yoga practice, you don't walk there all.
No.
No, you walk there with respect to the place you're about to practice something you like, something that, well, to a level is spiritual for some people in yoga, and for some other people they go as like an extra workout or like a mobility class. But still, you gotta show the respect for like the activity you wanna do, the coach who's about to guide you through the path of something that you don't know. Because I
Yep.
mean, at the end of the day, everyone can be a coach on anything. Like someone to teach you how to use it, like right now, the person that helps me fix this thing coach me right now. I know how to do it
Right.
now from now on. So example, like, but I feel like it's very casual, not very respectful. um I feel like something that I wish it changes is like people using their authority in the mats to try to enforce their community or to do fucked up shit. There's been a lot of weird shit happening.
You
uh
mean like
report cases that,
using their exposure to leverage
yeah,
like
or
political ideas or
uh-huh,
something?
yeah, or all kinds of things that can happen, like when you have a position of power, right? So that's something I wish it changes, but I mean it's evolving very good, like where it's going. I just hope like more people do it, in like more people from, I wish more people from police forces or military were more encouraged or kind of obligated to do this, to give them certain
Definitely.
qualification on fighting. I'm not saying like, I feel like everyone should learn Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu. That's it for me. It's like everyone
I
should
think
learn how to do this
jujitsu
too.
just it's also good. I I I wish I found jujitsu at a younger age, but I didn't, and whatever. That's how it went.
But what if you? Okay, I hear this. I wish I would have found Jiu
But let
Jitsu.
me finish. I'll tell you why. Is because I would have benefited from the humility that I got taught by
Okay,
jujitsu if I had been exposed to it earlier. And that would have been good for me through
that's when
my
a lot
like
of kids quit,
late
though.
teens and like early 20s, to just get rid of that like bravado, this idea that I thought I was like tougher than I was, and then the first time that I jujitsu, dude, I mean, I was like a
I
strong
feel like
young kid and I got fucked up.
if I would have done it younger than 16 or 17, I don't think I would actually appreciate it as much. Uh,
But I didn't, dude.
but
I didn't start
definitely.
until like 27, so it was. I
Oh
needed
wow.
it earlier. I wish I did it in my teens.
I'm lucky I got to say I did it because I feel like
Yeah,
I have a lot of kids that they don't accept losing and they quit jiu-jitsu to stop it. Like, and I
that's
started teaching
yeah,
kids like 2 years and a half 2 years ago again because I stopped for a while. I wanted to focus more on competing. But seeing them not, well, this is other one too that I see a lot. It's like when they stop trying, they're just laying down there
yeah,
and they stop trying.
yeah.
So you see a lot of like the person you used to show the persons through colors to an
So
extension,
much,
man.
man. At all levels too. That's what's wild. Like it really does. I was talking to someone about this the other day. It's everything about what a person thinks that they are. It just gets dissolved, and you're just left with like who they really are. Because you can't fake it when you're in the middle of training. You can't pretend to
No,
be someone you're not. You
no,
know.
no, no, for sure. No, because like all your walls are down. You're like
Go.
hot headed. You don't have too much to like filters at the moment. I've been on both sides of the coin in jiu-jitsu, like when it comes to these situations, like being the very very calm person or the very aggressive person, and it shows like your character, man. And of course, every time I did something wrong on the mats, I went and review myself, man, because uh, it's a reality. You just like it's good for reality check for people like us, like fighters. Like I
Yeah.
just enjoy the reality check that it gives me. Um, but again, I try not to go when I'm going through these situations because I know sometimes you can get emotionally on the mat.
Yeah.
So like, you gotta learn how
Do you
to
ever do you
control yourself.
channel your? I feel like emotion and ego specifically can be super valuable because if you don't believe you're going to win, if you don't think you're good enough to win, you're definitely not going to win, right? You have to think that you're good to some degree.
Oh,
So how do
that's
you
what I'm saying.
balance
That's the
that?
movie you tell to yourself every day.
Right.
I'm the man. I'm gonna do this. That's the movie, right? So accepting that someday is accepting that is training though. There's people that are trying to win every round of training, and that's fine. I get it. I want to too, but like uh focusing on developing your skills rather than like win every round will be better, and also gather information because you expose yourself in the training to mistakes. But it has to be a mindset, It cannot be like, oh, I suck because I did this wrong and da da da. Da.
Right.
It happened, for example, you see this mark. So
Yeah.
Sydney was trying to
Courtesy of
take my back.
Sinistro.
So man, like I came back home all beat up, and I was so frustrated because I was having like 3 days in a row where I was rolling really fly, and
Yeah.
then I don't know, nothing went my way that day, and oof, man, and I don't know,
How
like,
did it get you? Was that just it was cross
no,
face?
yeah, fighting for the chokes, fighting for the choke. I think no, I
Okay.
think he got like he was trying to arm triangle me from the mount. So I can't
Okay.
even remember. He just landed my mount
Yeah.
mounted on me, and I was like, "Fuck!" And even getting out was a like a test for myself because
Yeah.
uh, I was like, I can't believe this happened. Like, then I came home and I was all beat up too and upset about it. But I was like, no, man, like it's okay if it's just one session, you don't trip. But
Yeah.
you always deal with hating losing, man. So I don't know. It's just the ego checker, bro. I don't know what to tell you. People don't like to lose, and people quit jiu-jitsu a lot, and that's why I'm telling you, kids don't like. I don't know. I feel like when I have this conversation, people are like, oh, I wish I would have started younger. It's like, no, you wouldn't have appreciated it. I don't.
Right.
I feel like it's. I don't know. It's like even if you believe or not in God, like I feel like just God sends you jiu-jitsu when
When you need it most.
right there when you need it. And whether you catch it or not, that's on you. But like
Right.
that window that opens when jiu-jitsu is an opportunity to learn. It's like I was talking to someone that she said like, oh yeah, I feel like it's like a religion. She said like kind of like a religion.
It's
But you
definitely
gotta be
that for
careful
me
too,
as
because
well.
like I see a lot of cults. So these are things I also
Yeah.
wish change. Like people that are very cultish. I don't know. It makes me feel weird. It kind of cringes me. Um, but I mean,
I like what you said about the there's when and this is true, Gentle Arts is a great example of this because I think Sinistra does a great job with his school of doing this. When you get there, there's a casual element in that everyone's saying hi to each other, but when class starts, class starts. You bow in, you do your warm ups, and when you're all done and you guys work super fucking hard and you all tried really hard and everyone's trying to get better, then you bow out and you congratulate everyone for showing up for each other. And I love that part. I think that part of it, the starting and ending together, is a really valuable part, and it makes it feel like not culty, but like a good community that I want to be part of.
It's, I think what he's trying to put there in the gym is a very very fresh vibe that's about work.
Yeah, yes, that's well said.
and
100%.
and that's something that I love about my friend, because he don't bring his drama to the gym at
Nope.
all, and no emotions that have nothing to do with jiu-jitsu in that time, because I feel like if you're running a jiu-jitsu gym, it should be all about that, and people
Dude, I could not
having a
agree
safe
more.
have a safe place where they can go and not worry about anything else but jiu-jitsu,
Yes.
and that's the point of the way we want to train, the way I want to train, like at least I know he cares about his students, so like, or I care, like, so the way I want to see is like I want the hour to be for my student. That is a hobbyist, obviously, though, because
Yeah.
if I have a student that is a competitor or has some desires to achieve results, I will press, and I
Yeah.
am the guy that will press on your bottoms just to see, to show the true colors.
Yeah.
So to see how much you want it. But if he's a hobbyist or he's a friend of mine that's just coming to visit me and is trying to have a good time, of course I wanna like go as hard as fuck on him, but like at the same time, just we're here for work, let's take a picture. We saw each other, we hug each other, we came here for
Right.
jiu-jitsu. We don't come here to talk about your bullshit drama that happened at home or
Right.
whatever chisme you got going on. Like, no, we come here for jiu-jitsu. And yeah, you can socialize too, but there's times and place for different things, and I feel like for me the mats are sacred in that matter.
It's nice to have a place, man, where you can go and not have to deal with bullshit, because there's a lot of bullshit that you got to deal with all day long on everything else, social media, jobs, family, whatever. It's
Something
nice to
that
have a
is
place.
really nice too that I noticed that people enjoy and like a lot, and this I noticed training under, and when I was teaching and training under Yoni Faria, uh, I
Is that
noticed a lot of people,
Alliance, right?
Alliance and
Alliance.
Diego. I noticed that a lot of people walk through that door looking down, kind of sad, and whenever their instructor will be like, "Hey, what's up? Name? How are you, man?" This dude's face will light up,
Yeah.
and it's crazy how little of an interaction will put another vibe on someone else's day, and and I feel like that's jujitsu, like when you come to that place, you look into like, forget about like all this stupid things. So wanting to be met with like, oh, you need to wear my uniform, you need to buy, oh, you need to buy, like, or
What do you
I
think
don't know
about
why.
what do you think about that?
No, that's a joke. I'm just
Okay, cool.
generalizing. This is just a joke. But do I think people should be enforced to wear a uniform? For promotions, for stuff. Do I feel like people should wear the same gi, like a uniform every class? Like I'm in fucking private school? No,
Dude, I
no.
kind of yeah, I kind of like
It
the
gives me
I mean,
the ickies,
Nogi is
bro.
fun cuz there's some like there's brands that make really cool shit. Like Albino Preto makes really cool stuff, or you can make
Yeah,
your
but then
own
you have people
stuff.
too that okay. So these are my at least my personal parameters for if I have my gym, and this is how I
Yeah.
like to run it. I like plain simple colors. And for me, if you're gonna come out with a spats are tie dye, with shorts are tie dye, with like rash guard is black.
Yeah.
But if you, I mean, I'm not gonna stop you from training, but it's not appealing to what I'm the image or the aesthetics I want to present for my clientele.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, yo, man, can you probably just wear more black and a little bit mix, like something that
Yeah.
looks not so loud like that more. But I mean, you're free to wear whatever you want, man. I mean, do I want to lose a client because he wants to wear tie dye and I don't want to let him? It's
No.
a debate.
Yeah.
It's a debate. So
Right, right.
like, Now it's easier when you have a big gym than just introducing white belts and you got the person from white belt to just wear that. They get used to. People are very complete. Like something I learned after COVID is that people, you tell them that shit it's red and it's white, and you keep telling them this shit, and they'll say it's red, or you will tell them stay quiet, don't say anything, and they will. It's really weird. That's why I'm telling you, you have to be careful with the jiu-jitsu environment you're in. You know, like they have so much
Well, dude,
leverage
especially
on
because
certain people, because there's also other people that are not, that are more level-headed, that are more awake or more alert to these things, and they catch
yeah.
into these things quicker. But I don't know, man. If you wanna wear whatever you wanna wear, wear it. I feel like for kimonos, I don't like tie dye geese. I don't like. I like white, blue, and black. And if you want blue navy, technicality, go ahead,
Yeah.
wear the blue navy.
I
Uh,
think black gis are the sickest, but I won't wear one until I get a black belt.
when I have my when I have my gym, I wanna make all white belts wear a black gi.
Just switch it up 100%.
Yeah, no, because then I know
Then their belt sticks out.
I hate seeing white belt. It's just they look like fake nurses. So it's like, no, man, I want these guys something different. Oh no, you know what? Blue gi. Let's give him a blue gi.
Yeah,
Let's
blue
give him a
gis
blue
work.
gi.
Blue
But
gis work.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just interesting to me, like when it gets super business, or you're trying to have like a big team like Alliance or Gracie Baja and represent their flag. You have to do all these things. And again, I'm not against them. It's just not my way of doing things. I feel like
Yeah.
I prefer my students to wear A&P stuff if they want, or Hyperfly or Moya brand or whatever they like, as long as it follows some certain etiquette for the gym. My gym.
With all the different like, we got ADCC coming up this year. Are you trying out for ADCC? Did you go to any trials?
No, I can't do trials right now because I will have to go to Brazil and I can't leave the country at the moment. So
Wait,
that's on.
they're doing trials in Brazil.
Yeah,
The
so
next trials,
I will
yeah.
have to do those. So no, no this time, and it's okay with me. I gotta be patient with this situation. I'm fixing it.
Yeah.
Working some plans. But
Could you do US trials though?
no, and this is something I talked to Mo, and I was like, man, like give me an opportunity, but yeah, that doesn't. It's just it would be unfair to just do it for me and not do it for other people, you know. So
Wait,
that's
what's the issue?
oh, you have to be either Central American or yeah, you have to be from Central America or North America.
To try
So people from
Wait,
Mexico
but
and above can do it.
oh wait, what? Wait, you can't
Mhm.
be a Central American citizen. Are you an Ecuadorian citizen?
Yes.
So wait, you
So
can't be an Ecuadorian citizen and try out for ADCC?
for America trials, no, I will have to go to Brazil.
What? I didn't even know that.
No, yeah, of course. They have the Oceania ones. They have the Asian trial, Asian and
Yeah, yeah.
Oceania. They have the American trial, the North
I
American
guess
trials.
I didn't even think about it
No,
I
yeah.
didn't even think about it like
What
that.
happens is you see a
That makes
lot of
sense.
like
Yeah.
athletes that are Americans. They have double passport going to
Right.
European trials and catching those trials.
Oh, and if you I see. I got you.
So if
If
you
you
have the
left the
passport,
country
you
to go to
can.
Brazil, you're screwed. You can't get back.
Yeah.
So you don't
Uh-huh.
want to deal with that.
Not
Gotcha.
right
Okay.
now.
Cool.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I thought you meant never mind. I thought you meant that like
No, no, no,
only
no.
US and
No,
Mexican citizens can
I'm
go
just
to
a screw
ACCC.
myself.
Yeah.
I'm just a screw
Okay.
myself.
Which of the different like who's number one, fight to win, ADCC, IBJJF, what's your favorite rule set? What do you think should be like the rule set?
Mm,
That's
I don't
like the most
know.
exciting,
I don't
has the best
know. I
jujitsu.
don't know. There's different ones. One that I don't like is the EBI rule sets.
EBI.
That's one that's like at the bottom of my list. I love Eddie Bravo. Much respect to the legend. I
Yeah.
just don't like the EBI rules. I feel like a lot of low level athletes try to survive throughout hard matches and then just look to get finishes or riding time in the overtime.
Yeah.
So that's the bottom of my list. I think my favorite one sometimes it's IBJJF and the ADCC. So it's a fight between those two rule sets. I enjoy both as equally. I grew up in the IBJJF system, so meaning like I follow the rule sets. That's why I was telling you, I will focus on the things I can do. And now the ACC is more, more wide and open on these rules and this nogi. In WJF you have both things too. So I don't know. I also like fight to win rule sets. I feel like those are very, very good rules because at the end of the day, if you know how to stack up submissions, you win. And so that I would say is like the most real jiu-jitsu you can see into an extension, because you're literally not fighting for a single guard pass or for a single sweep. Is who can get a good hold on a submission, and how many times can you do it, or can you submit the guy. So that was one of my favorite rule sets. If you ask me, fight to win, it was really good rule set. Um, so I'll say IBJJF, ADCC, fight to win, AAP
Yeah,
are
I
for me.
I like the fight to win rule set. I think it's, as a spectator or viewer,
It's
it's one of the
exciting.
more, yeah, it's one of the more exciting ones to watch. And dude, for you were talking about like where jujitsu's at, like will it peak later or in its growth, and I think that these things are really important. Like how spectator friendly an event is. You have to have someone who doesn't do jujitsu be able to see it and go, "Whoa, that was rad," and want to know more about it. Like you can watch the UFC if you're not a fighter and you don't really get it. You can watch the UFC and be
And
like,
you be
"Whoa,
excited
that was
about it.
crazy."
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was something.
You watch two people caught up in their lapels in a match for 15 minutes,
It's
it
just
can
not
be like,
appealing. It's not appealing to the possible viewer. So, or for more viewers to like to watch that. So that's why the nogi has just been on this constant rise. Like everything's gonna be nogi in now from on.
yeah,
I
what do
feel
you
like
think
the
happens?
gi.
What do you think
Man, the
happens
gi is
to the
gonna keep
gi?
happening, but it's not gonna be as popular or demanding, or it's not gonna pay as much as it pays in nogi. I feel like
Right.
the nogi purses are way bigger now than the gi purses, but it's always a fight, man. Because sometimes then you have this crazy guy that's super millionaire. He wants this gi tournament to be, and he's willing to drop 100K.
Right.
You never know.
Right.
Or some random sheikh in Abu Dhabi was like, "Oh, I'm tired." Like they make this new event,
Yeah.
ADXC, this Abu Dhabi cross combat, whatever, and now they're inviting people there to fight. So like,
Yeah,
you
you're
know,
right.
I,
It does.
I
It's cyclical.
we're only gonna keep getting more of these promotions, like more and more and more and more, until
Yeah.
like promotions like Who's Number One take a more control of these, because I feel like they've been running now. They found a way to took down Fight to Win, to be honest. So,
Yeah.
uh, but because Fight to Win, I think it was doing what Who's Number One is now doing, but Who's Number One took it more like on the media end, whereas
Yep.
Fight to Win was just more like, oh, I'll see you next weekend, we're fighting. But
Right.
now the whole
That is
kind
a
of
press
like
conference and everything,
UFC
and
kind of
yeah,
style of is what's gonna. One championship is putting MMA and and no gi fights in their events, so that's pretty
that would
sick
be
too.
wild if one championship did a gi match.
That would be sick.
That would be sick.
But then this is when the people that have the eyes will come to look or make the rules for this, because
Right.
like if I was having like a gi fight in a cage like this, I wouldn't allow the lapel guard to be a thing at all, or like to be stalling points or stalling positions. That's the
It's
point
so,
with the
yeah,
gi. It's just so easy to stall, man. You grab a piece of fucking fabric and you hold down to it,
yeah,
and if you know how to play the rules, good luck moving me. It's 5 minutes,
yeah.
six
No,
minutes in those kind of fights, or 10 if it's IBJJF. But for example, 10 minutes sometimes it can be. I feel like one of my least favorite things to do. I feel like there's a lot of time to stall or like to
yeah.
hold or to like
It
like the
definitely
match can
doesn't.
go
It
go
doesn't promote
both ways.
action. It
No,
doesn't promote action. It
no.
does promote stalling because both people
Seven
are doing the
minutes a
same match.
purple was my favorite, man. 7 minutes of
7
purple were
minutes.
like go 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 go. So that was fun. But like as I got to brown belt black, I felt like people were dividing the match in two, like five or four, 2 rounds. And
Have you ever done any like any cardiovascular work outside of just training? Because
oh, of
like you
course, I
have a
used to
pretty good
run a
gas
lot.
tank. Yeah.
I used
Yeah.
to run a lot when I was younger, before my knees get fucked up. A lot of high interval intensity training. I feel like heats
Yeah.
are like the way to go when you're doing jujitsu. I did a lot of CrossFit, which is kind of heat.
Yep.
It's just I wish I would have done it in a more in a smarter fashion because I feel like I was pounding my joints too soon with
Yeah.
too much weight that I didn't need to do. But hey, we sometimes when we don't listen and we think we know better. This is my advice for people like fuck man, just be careful with your body when you're younger. Take care of it. It's your temple. You only have one. But I was doing that. I help a lot. So those are the things I did for cardiovascular health. I like the assault bike so much these days.
Dude,
It's
it's
one
the
of my
best.
favorite ones.
The best.
Another thing that I got super hooked into it was the rowing machine. I had my friend in New York, Sata. Shout outs to my boy. It was his birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday.
So Sata, his dad used to be a rower for Flamengo in Rio de Janeiro, man, back on the day in the 80s.
Beasts.
Fuck
Beasts.
no, Fabio is like he's about to be quarter belt. I don't know. He's like 6 degree black belt.
Oh shit.
Or I think he's
I'm
already
just
quarter
saying,
belt.
like competitive rowers, guys
Oh
that
no,
can
no, this
compete.
guy, no, this guy's. This, I'm talking about my homie's dad. I was like, he's my dad. He's amazing. This dude's like
Yeah.
super tall, super athletic, black belt in jiu-jitsu champion. Had a super successful New York team called Team Fabio Clemente. Used to be
Yep.
Alliance N1C back in the day. And the guy was like the one that was encouraging us to do the rowing thing. So he put us to do the 1,000 meter rowing. And dude, he would kill it. And we were like,
Dude,
and
well,
I
the
started.
assault bike is the best for jujitsu.
You think
It's the
so?
best.
I
I do.
like for me the assault bike and the rowing machine. Those two are my favorite ones because sometimes I get bored of the bike. Uh,
The reason I think it's so good from like a trainer's
mhm.
perspective is it's the constant pushing and pulling and the movement of your legs, which is not 100% replicated of jujitsu. But if you look at jujitsu,
No, but
you're
you're
constant, it's always that exchange. It's push, pull, engage, disengage, move, hook your legs, do this stuff. So you're building an engine that's very close to the actual demands of the sport. And dude, that thing will crush you. Assault bike, you go
no,
hard
no.
on
I
that,
love
you're
it. I
fucking
love it. I
done,
love it.
bro.
I love it. I was doing a lot of 10-20s
Yep.
and tell me
That's
about
the
it.
closest I'll get to thrown up of
No,
anything
yeah,
else. That's the
but
closest I
CrossFit
get.
used to take me to almost puke.
Yeah.
Jiu-Jitsu, CrossFit, and the assault bike has been the ones, and the rowing machine have taken me close to puke, very close to puke.
Have you ever
Uh,
thrown
uh,
up
yeah,
doing a workout?
from jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Oh my
so
god, I
bad.
remember I was a blue belt. I was training like an insane amount of times a day, and it was Sunday. Someone called up, and I went there. Started going with this adult guy. I was 17. Man, I remember I went so hard with this guy. I went there and puked for 2 minutes, bro. And then again, and then again, and I was like, I couldn't even calm down, man.
Yeah.
So I, I don't know. There's something fascinating about feeling pain for jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
practitioners.
Yeah.
We enjoy that. We're masochists.
It makes me feel alive. That sounds kind of weird, but like it's true. I mean, I think bringing yourself near that point, it makes me, I don't know, it makes me feel like I'm like doing something right. It's
I
like
don't know.
I need it.
I feel different ways about that feeling. I like it, and at the same time, okay, I didn't need to do that. I feel like sometimes.
I had,
Uh,
dude, we're, when I was competitive skiing when I was younger, we had this one thing we would do where we were on mountain bikes and we had this hill, in the summertime. We do this for training. So you pair up, one on one and it's an all out sprint on your bike to the top of the hill. Then you ride down,
uh,
you get back in line, you do it again. And one time I was a senior, so I was like 17. They put me against this kid who was like 6 years younger than me,
oh no.
but he was a competitive mountain biker. And when my
Oh.
coach put me against him, I looked over and I was like, I'm not letting this kid fucking beat me. No way. He smoked me. And I went as hard as I could. And the second I got to the top of the hill, I threw my bike over and I just fucking for like 2 minutes, dude. I was like just fucking
For real,
throwing up.
this
It was so
11-year-old
bad.
kid just smoke you. Well,
Oh,
they're
he crushed,
lighter
dude.
too, man. They're
Killed
lighter
me.
too. They're lighter
Yeah.
too.
But
Since
it
you
was
compare a
totally
lot.
like it was my ego got in the way and I went too hard and then I just same thing. I was thrown up for like 2 minutes. It was the worst, man. I hate that feeling. That feeling I hate.
But I mean, I like that one though. Like it's like I really try hard to do something
True.
to the point of puking. But no, I don't. I don't know. I don't think it's so smarter anymore. I think the last time I enjoyed seeing something like this was this CrossFit trainer. man, he would be like having the reflexes of puking like for like 5 minutes doing the what, and I'm like, yo, that's not okay. At this point, are you okay, bro? Like you should
Yeah.
like
You're like, take you to hospital.
you're okay. Like, but I mean, also when you get into that point, I feel like in any kind of practice you're doing, you're probably close to getting hurt, not only like because of your puking, but like physically hurt. You know, like that's something
Yeah,
I
you
also
got to be
notice.
careful.
So that's something like I try not to do that. I don't think it's smart because we are older now. We see it this way. When you're younger, you know that getting to the puking point is where you want to be.
Right.
If
Yeah,
you're
you
not
only know
doing
one
it, if you're
speed.
not getting to the puking point, then you're not doing it right. It's kind of like
Were you ever tempted to go into like mixed martial arts?
multiple times, and I receive advice from many coaches. Some encourage it. Some others say, "No, man, I don't think it's a good idea." I feel like you're like you are the closest of all our friends that I, of the group of people we were talking that is to win a gi world title than anybody. I want you to focus on that. So like that's been my
Yeah.
focus, you know, for many years is winning a black belt world title in the gi. And and it's sad that these days doesn't have the same value in some people's eyes, but for me that's the goal I grew
Whatever.
up
If it has value
wanting to
for
have.
you.
Yeah, of course, that's
Yeah.
like my personal dream or goal that I always wanted to achieve. And well,
Do you care if that happens at a masters event versus
if I win in a
adult?
Masters, it won't have the same feeling. Definitely not.
So you gotta. So wait, will you can still compete in not
Oh,
masters,
of
but you
course.
don't.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
adult.
Yeah.
I still
Okay.
do adult. I recently competed an open in adult division in November. I did pretty good. I fight Nogi in adult, and I don't have plans on fighting Masters anytime soon. And not because I see it as a less quality event, but it's like I still feel like I'm in that level of the adult division that I don't feel the need to cut my like I feel like I can still compete at that level, whether if I have the greatest trainer or not.
Yeah.
Like it's just and man, I came back after being hurt. I got hurt in May after an ACC Open, very bad from my like my lower back, and
Yeah.
and it's taking me a while to recover. So I was out from May until like the end of September that I came back to
Yeah.
compete, and I did a couple tournaments. And of course, I haven't have a big breakthrough this past season because I feel like it was more like a recovery time for me. And that's another reason why I don't want to rush into jump into competitions right now because I want to
Smart.
be selective now. The my back is feeling better, but it's been a year, very rocky year, like with this back injury, and
Was it a
it,
bulging disc?
I think so. Yeah, I think I have a bulging disc and I ripped my QL muscle.
Fuck,
So
man.
those two combined, but these happen because of deadlifting, for example.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when this happened
Like
many
a
many years
single
ago.
lift. You knew when it happened.
No, I remember. I remember the tear, and this happened. I'm telling you, 11 years ago.
Damn.
So it's something I've been caring for years. But the less you take care of your body, the less time you invest in mobility, in strengthening these weak areas, in resting, because this is something that I need more sleep than ever now.
Me
Uh,
too, man.
uh, it can change my the way I feel to train, man. So like that's why I feel like it was last year was more like I'm recovering from these. I still went from big tournaments like Worlds and Pans and in the Nogi, but I do it because of the same reason. I don't want to hop down that flow, and I was gone for too long. So like that kind of put me. Today, if you ask me, I feel way better. So like I didn't win all the tournaments I did. I won one tournament. I got good results in other ones. I was losing. I've been losing by ref decision. So it's good to an extension
Right.
because it means that with little training, I'm still out there, and after overcoming a big serious injury, because this make me sat down, Abe, and sat in my room and question everything I've been doing for the
Yeah.
last 10, 12 years. So this kind of injury kind of like again will either make you want to quit or will make you better to continue. And I feel like I took the other route, better to continue, and that's why I wasn't too hard on myself at the end of the season. I was like, I fucking suck. I didn't do good this season.
Right. Right.
I counted. I counted the matches I did and how many I won and how many I lost, and I think I have a two versus the ones that I lost. So
Well, I mean,
it could
this
have
will
been
make
nothing. It could have been. I could have be gone all year instead of fighting these last tournaments.
it's
I
going to
fight
make your
because I
story
want
all
to.
that. It'll make your story all that much better because when you come back from it on the other side, and then you win a black belt world title
Oh,
like
it
you want to
feels.
in the gi, you will look back and it will all have been worth it, even the
and
dip
and
and the
and and,
emotion and
and
fucking all that.
and that's why you talk about my final in 2019 being very emotional, because for me it was very frustrating to that same year having to run into Professor Lucas Lepre. At the time he was my coach, and I had to
And
open for
forfeit.
him, and I had to forfeit, and I had to
Yeah.
forfeit for Francisco Pants 2 months before that too. In
Why
2019,
do they
man,
do that? Why do they?
I
That's
don't
so
want to talk about it,
stupid,
man.
man.
It's just
Yeah.
it was the old school mentality, and I get it. If you're my direct training partner, it's weird, but at the same time, if we're fighting for the same goal, we should know this from the beginning. So I
No,
just don't close out
sorry.
anymore.
I get that. I just meant like it's
Oh,
stupid that they let. Yeah,
the
yeah,
bracket.
yeah.
Well, for example, in the IBJJF Federation, there can only be two representatives from each team in the main team. So there's alliance,
Right.
and alliance that day I think had Michael Langi and Lucas Lepre as the head ones.
Right.
Langi ended up losing to Renato Canuto in the quarters, and Lucas received me in the quarters coming from 2 rounds before. So
Damn.
Lucas also had one. He had one round, and then he had me because he had a bypass for being world champion already.
Right.
So then I was Team B, Alliance Team B. So what happened is they put Lepre and Langi in the opposite side of the bracket, and then we have two Alliance B guys. So then they find
Right.
if they advance, they meet these other guys, and this was what's happening with Francisco. But the funny thing is that with Francisco, he wasn't an alliance; he was another team, and it still happened. So then it made me question about whether the federation was picking with their finger who goes with who in the next rounds. Because back on the
Right.
day, that used to be the way they would sit down. Like you have Royler Gracie, Fire Gurgel, Carlos Gracie Jr., and Carson Gracie, affiliated head coach or whatever. And this guy picking the brackets. Lloyd Irving there sitting. No, no, but you put this guy here, you put this guy there. No, but you put, and they start fighting for the seats, and then who goes
Right.
against who. That's why I still think it was happening back in the day. These days, I don't know. With Cine, we just prefer not to fight the tournament he's fighting, and so we're not. There's not
Well,
even
this
a
time, I
contemplation.
mean, if you end up in a a match again now, you're just gonna fight him.
Oh, this is funny because we talked about it after we were walking to the parking lot. I was like, "This is the last time I'm opening for you, just so you know. Like next time we're fighting."
Yeah, 100%.
But I mean, do I want to fight him personally? Not really, because I train with him, man.
Yeah, it's
and
your
and
buddy.
and, it, and sometimes relationships could change when you compete against someone that close
Yeah.
to you, and that's something that he never liked, and he always kind of, that was our argument, so that's why we close out. But again, man, I when you want something, you gotta prove it that you want it more than another person too.
Yeah.
That's
Fair.
where I'm at. And
Well,
if you
Johnny,
lose in the process, it wasn't meant to be for you, or it's not
yeah.
your turn at the moment.
Well, it's been awesome getting to talk to you. I'm actually excited now to follow and watch you pursue this. I feel like you're the determined type of person that's going to make it happen. And you've respected your injury. A lot of people don't respect their injuries and they're sidelined forever. So you did 100% the right thing. And now you get to come back and make it happen, man. I'm excited to see.
Thanks, Abe.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's jiu-jitsu. I use it as a tool to improve my life, in any way I can. And I'm not perfect. I still got a lot of things to improve. But I feel like also the pursuit to become, or the pursuit to get my goal is what's making me get better. And the only thing I hope is I can inspire other people to do the same, and just have fun while doing it, man. That's bottom line.
Yes,
That's the most important thing.
absolutely. Well, Johnny, thank you so much for taking the time to be here and join me on the show. It's been a blast. And I'm excited to train with you again, man.
Come back anytime, man. Let me know, and yeah, stay in touch. Appreciate you. Thank you for the invite. Have a good rest of your week, brother.
Of course. Hey, friends, Abe here. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode and sticking around to the very end. If you want to support it, leave a 5-star review on Spotify or check out www.maynideapodcast.com. Join the mailing list and stay up to date on all things The Main Idea, from future guests, sponsorship opportunities, products that I'm using to help me perform at my best, invites to ask me anything, and any upcoming pertinent information to the show. I cannot do this show without you. It is literally why I show up each week and put these episodes together. So thank you from the bottom of my heart from being part of the community. I hope you have a great day.